Is up, everybody? Good evening. Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline, and I couldn't be more excited to be here with all of you tonight. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for, the live workshop on one of my favorite topics to teach. And it's one of my favorite topics to teach because I know what this is going to help you do for your business. None other than weekly accountability meetings, or as we like to call them, WAMs. So if you've been following me or listening to me, whether it's Clubhouse, the podcast, anywhere on social media, this term should not be a new one to you. We talk quite a bit about WAMs, and I'm excited for tonight because this is literally the first time that we are ever teaching this topic publicly. Prior to today, the only way that you could get this training that I'm about to give all of you is you had to be a member of our high-level group coaching program called Next Level Leadership. And I know that not all of you really fit the qualifications of that program. And, and the other thing is, it's an investment to be a part of that program. And I'm excited because for the first time ever, we're making this available to all of you. And the reason why I did that is because, since I've been talking more about WAMs, and I've been talking more about them because I've seen how it's literally transformed the businesses and lives of our next level students. We've gotten so many requests from people. Can I get that training? I want that training. How do I learn about WAMs? And so that's why we decided to do this. And I'll just tell you this, because I know we have different types of people that are on the training here tonight. Whether you're someone that, if you've got a larger team, WAMs are going to be something that you literally are going to want to implement right away. Like I'm talking about, put the plan in place starting tomorrow. But if you've got a team of any size, this is a tool that's going to make a tremendous deal. It's going to make a tremendous difference in your business. But I also know that there might be some of you watching tonight that don't even really have a team yet. And I want to tell you that this is still going to be an incredibly important training, if for no other reason than you're going to be learning something right now. You're going to be learning something right now that I promise you at some point in your business, you are absolutely going to want to use. So no matter who you are, I promise you that this is going to be more than worth your time. And I want to give all of you a heads up, and I want to remind you, when you registered for this training, you should have gotten a link to our private membership area, which is where we're going to be taking this recording. So I'm recording the training live. We're going to be taking this recording and putting it into that product, so you'll have lifetime access to it. So if you haven't had a chance to actually log in, make sure you do that. But the other reason is because inside of that product, there is a PDF implementation guide. Now, this is a very detailed step-by-step blueprint of how to implement and run WAMs. I'm going to be teaching most of it to you tonight, but I want to just remind you that a lot of the language that I'm going to be sharing with you and a lot of what I'm going to be teaching you is literally coming right from that implementation guide. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that printed up. You don't need it printed up right now this second, but you're going to want to make sure at some point you print that up, because that's going to be something that you're going to be literally, I'm telling you, you're going to be in and out of that guide so much as you begin to implement this tool into your business. So, all right, well, listen, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. I see we've got people from all over the world joining us, so I'm super excited that all of you are here. And I'll just say this, I got lots of information to teach you tonight. So for the sake of time, I'm going to get into it. And I do want to just give all of you a heads up, okay? This is like I said, this is a training that prior to today was only available in our higher level coaching program, Next Level Leadership. Some of you may have heard me talk about that program before. It's really the next step up from our Legacy Leadership Academy. Some of you may be wondering if you may be a fit for Next Level. And I just want to let you all know now, at the end of this training, I'm actually going to be sharing a little bit of information about Next Level with you. We've made a couple of really exciting changes to the program. So if you've ever wondered about that program, if you're somebody that's been a little bit more successful in your business, you may want to hear what I have to share with you tonight. So, but with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it here. So I've got some slides that I'm going to be sharing with all of you. And so what we'll do is I'm going to go through the training. As I'm going through it, if you have a question, feel free to type it into the chat. Just make sure you mark it as a question so that when I'm done, we're going to have some time for some Q&A. We'll have as much time as we need to. We'll spend as much time as we need to together to get your questions answered. But when I'm done the presentation, I'll go back and I'll answer the questions. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll get it officially kicked off. So as I mentioned tonight, we're going to be teaching you weekly accountability meetings, or as we like to call WHAM. Now, I do want to caution you one thing. There's a lot of people that come into our programs and they say, yeah, you know, Bob, I've done something like that before. We've run accountability groups, you know, we've done this type of stuff. And I want you to understand this. I promise you, you've never done anything like what I'm about to teach you, the way that I teach it. And, you know, we have people that hear me talk about WHAMs, but they don't actually have the training, and they try to implement some version of it in their business, but they don't have it exactly the way that I'm teaching it. I'm telling you, this is literally something that I perfected over years of trial and error in my own business. And having taught this concept to our students over the last couple of years, like, you are getting a straight up proven formula that if you do it exactly the way that I'm teaching you, I'm telling you, it's going to change your business forever. So I want to encourage you, let go of any preconceived notions that you might have had of things you've done in the past. And I also want you to be open to trying something in your business that's new, that might make some of you feel uncomfortable, which, by the way, that's a good thing. But I promise you is going to help you create incredible results. And this is all the reason why I say, and I truly believe this is going to be one of the most important trainings you will ever have in your business. When it comes to business strategy, there is literally nothing, and I say this, there is nothing that I ever did in my career in terms of business strategy that made a bigger difference, not only in my own personal results, but for the results of the people on my team. See, I know I don't know all of you, but here's what I can guess about most of you, because you're here and you follow me. Yes, you want to be successful, but you also feel a burning desire to truly want to help other people. And I know one of the things that bothers you is you haven't really been able to help other people on your team see those big results. And I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most important things. So I'm going to be walking you through step by step what they are, what a WHAM is, how to set one up, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to run them effectively to save you literally months and months of mistakes that I've already made and our students have made. And then I want to remind you once again, if you're joining us, the PDF implementation guide that you got along with this training, which should be in your membership area when you signed up, is going to have all of this and more for you to be able to reference. All right, so I'd like to start off talking about systems. Systems are a really important component of what we teach our students, and they're really the key to creating true time and financial freedom in your business. And when it comes to systems, we teach what we call the 5 freedom systems. And I'm of the opinion that if you can, over time, focus on creating systems in these 5 different areas, that you absolutely will have the foundation to not only build a financially successful business, but a life that you love. How nice would it be to have a huge business and all the free time in the world that you could ever possibly want to enjoy it? Now, for a lot of you, that might seem like a pipe dream and it might feel impossible, but I'm just telling you, it's because you haven't been operating from the right plan. So the 5 freedom systems are as follows. Number 1 is prospecting. Number 2 is marketing. Number 3 is onboarding. Number 4 is accountability. And number 5 is retention. Now, in both of our programs, Legacy Leadership Academy and Next Level, we teach people these systems. In Next Level and LLA, we teach you how to create the systems. But in our higher level program, Next Level, we focus on coaching, reviewing your systems, and helping you implement and getting people to use them. But systems are a critical part of this thing that we teach called Love, Serve, Grow. So the Love, Serve, Grow framework is based on these 3 different key areas of focus. Number 1, the love part of the framework is really about belief, about mindset. Success is an inside out game. See, we have to start with mastering our own mind. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that we talk a lot about the power of belief. Starting with belief is important because it gives you what's called personal freedom. And personal freedom is literally the starting point of all achievement in your business. Personal freedom is literally just having the ability to master your mind, and in any moment when you're feeling self-doubt or feel fear, instantly turn that into confident action. And we do that through building belief. But the second part of the framework, which is service, is really about beginning to think less about your own results. And how do I actually start to build a real business that changes other people's lives? And one of the number 1 shifts that we make to do that is starting to think more like of systems. And systems are important, and I already mentioned this, because you'll never have true time freedom in your business without systems. See, if your business doesn't run without you, it's not a business. So we help you put these into place. And then the third part of the framework, which is grow, is all about leadership. It's about you learning how to step into that leadership role in your business. And once you do that, you've got the belief that you need to know that you're capable. You've got the systems in place to train and support people as they start to join you. But then you grow yourself as a leader to really help other people change their lives. And that's the part of the framework that gives us the financial freedom. Network marketing is nothing more than a leadership development program with a compensation plan attached to it. But these are the 3 areas that we focus on when we help our students. And I'm telling you, if you can master these 3 areas, you will achieve something we call total freedom. And that's all of these things combined. And I'm telling you, this is available to any one of you if you're following the right plan. So when we talk about accountability, here's why that particular system is so important. This is going to be the one we're focusing on tonight. Accountability is the number 1 system in your business for leadership development. And I've already mentioned to you, you'll never have true financial freedom unless you do a really good job developing leaders. And I know that, some of you have done an okay job in that area, but we always have room for improvement. Imagine what it would be like to have a half dozen other people just like you on your team, people that didn't need their hands held, that were motivated, that went out and just did it, whether you were there or not. Like, imagine how different your business and your life would be. Well, accountability is the way that you're going to get there. And when we talk about accountability, this concept that I'm teaching you tonight, weekly accountability meetings, or as we like to call them, WAMs, are the number 1 tool you have in that area. So why I'm excited for a lot of you is this is going to solve a lot of problems that you have when it comes to growing your business and growing your team. Let me share a conversation with you. I think this is such a perfect example of what WAMs can do for you. I want to share a conversation with you that I had through Messenger, and she's cool with me sharing this with you. But one of our students in our Next Level leadership program, where we teach WAMs, her name is Jen Goodall. And you may have recognized Jen's name because if you're a podcast listener of ours, Jen and I did a podcast interview where she talked about how WAMs have changed her business. But I just want to share with you what this tool has done for her. So, I was messaging Jen and I said, she joined our Next Level program in August of 2020. So she said that at the time of her joining, right, she was at a low point in her business doing about 45,000 in total team volume per month, right? And that was half of what she had done the year before. So when you want to talk about somebody that was like at rock bottom, like her business was cut in half, she didn't know what to do. She was working hard. She didn't know what that next step was for her. And she joined our Next Level program. And look at what happened once she did that. She said, my first month of growth was small, 9%. And then look at the next month, 74%, then 113%, then 124%, and then over 300% growth. She said that the biggest reason for that was WHAMs. She implemented her first WHAM in September because she knew she really needed to be better developing leaders. She followed what I'm about to teach you to a T. And look what she says. It was interesting because everyone said they were going to show up, but not everyone did. So it helped me get clear on who actually was deserving of my time. And I'm telling you, this is a big thing for a lot of you. One of the reasons why you're not seeing real progress in your business is because you're focusing too much time on the wrong people. WHAMs will help you figure out who the right people are that you should work with. And then here's what I love the most is this tool that I'm teaching you is not only something that you're going to do, it's something that's going to duplicate on your team. And look what she says. My team is stepping into their leadership more than now than ever. They've started to implement these themselves, and they've been so powerful. It's exciting for people to actually show up. And I'm telling you, Jen's volume went from 45,000 to over 200,000 within a matter of, I think it was 4 or 5 months because of this incredible tool. So this is just one example of many that I'll share with you about what this can do for you. And I'm sorry if the print is pretty small there. I can't zoom in, but you just have to take my word that that's what she said. So, but what will WHAMs do for you? So here's the key areas of focus. WHAMs are going to help you create consistent, sustainable growth. How nice would it be to not have to be on that roller coaster of good months and bad months, of constantly stressing out about how you're going to maintain your current rank, right? Like caught in that plateau. Like some of you have been stuck at the same rank and around the same volume for years in your business. WHAMs are going to help you break free from that. But sustainable growth, meaning that as your business grows, it's not going to require more of your personal time. WHAMs are also going to help you develop strong, independent leaders. See, this is the thing I think that really makes this so fulfilling. Like when you really truly understand that you do have what it takes to help people change their lives. Like I know a lot of you are here and you're like, Bob, I've changed my life. This business has changed my life. But the next step for me is like, what do I have to do to help others do the same? Well, I'm telling you, WHAMs is going to be one of the biggest tools to help you in that area. WHAMs will also help you create more time freedom. Now, this is a really big one because I know that a lot of you, yes, you've been successful, but when you look at your life and when you look at what you've got to do to maintain that success, success doesn't feel so much like a blessing. It actually feels more like a curse. And I'm telling you that it doesn't have to be that way. WHAMs will also help build your confidence and belief as a leader. No more imposter syndrome. See, when you have the right tools in place and you know that you have a plan that if you find the right person, you can absolutely help them, that gives you so much more belief in yourself as a leader. So this is going to be a tool to help you do that. And then here's the other thing, and I love this. They help you create an incredible winning team culture. See, what WHAMs do is they, and we're going to talk more about this now, they connect like-minded people on your team, your best people, and they create relationships that last for a lifetime. They promote collaboration over competition. And when you can create and foster that type of an environment, when you give people the relational support they need and they're cheering one another on, what that does long-term for your business is absolutely incredible. Let's talk about accountability. So it's one of the 5 systems that we teach. Why is it so important? Well, here's what studies have shown. People are 2.5 more times likely to hit a goal if there's accountability present. Accountability helps people develop better plans for reaching their goals. The truth of it is this: most of the people that are struggling on your team, and some of you that are listening right now, it's because you don't have the right plan, or you might have the right plan, but you're not actually using it. Accountability helps. Accountability, on that note, helps keep people on track and motivated, taking consistent action. And here's the other thing accountability does. I love this. It eliminates excuses. Like when you're accountable, When you're practicing accountability, there's no more excuses. You either did it or you didn't. You got to divorce the stories and marry the results of your business. And that's an important step in creating success. But here's the problem with accountability. It's one of the most misunderstood concepts of business and life. Here's what I want you to realize. The only form of accountability that exists is self-accountability. Look, I want you to understand this. It's not your job to hold people accountable. And it's not someone else's job to do that for you. If that's your belief, if that's your mindset, then that's you giving up responsibility for your own success and ownership of your business. See, why I love WHAMs so much is because they create structure that teaches people what real accountability is. They teach people how to take responsibility for their own success. No more victim, no more blame. They teach people how to take ownership of their business. See, I know this is something that you want to help people do, but the beauty of a WHAM is it literally does it for you. The way that it's set up, if you get someone in there, it just happens naturally. It's either going to happen or they're going to leave. Either way, that's their choice. But this is the reason why I would literally see people transform right before my eyes. Tell me if you can relate to this. I'd have people on my team that I knew they had so much potential that I was like, man, they could be they could be doing so much more. And I'm like, for the life of me, I'm like, I don't know what else I can do and say. Like, I've literally done everything in my, I just don't know what to do. And I came up with this idea for WHAMs. And this was, this is not something I did overnight, like through months and months of trial and effort. I'm like, there's gotta be a better way for me to lead my best people. And I came up with this concept. And what I saw happen was literally blew me away. I saw people transform right before my eyes. I mean, people that I had been spending years trying to get them to get it, in a matter of months, complete transformation. And that's when I finally began to realize the power of just changing the way that you lead and work with people. But here's the thing, if accountability is so important, if it's so great, why do so few leaders do it? Well, I'm going to tell you why. It's because of something that we teach called the relational roadblock. See, the reason why so many of you, and I'm going to call some of you out here right now, the reason why so many of you avoid accountability, like this is one of the things, like, you should be doing what I'm talking about here, but most of you have been afraid to do it. And here's the reason why. Because you're leading from a place of fear, or what we like to call a red light core story. It's just a lack of belief in yourself. Here's what happens. You need to be liked and accepted by the people on your team to feel better about yourself. See, the scarcity mindset that comes along with fear will always lead you to believe that if you do the things that I am teaching you tonight, because I'm teaching you how to lead people, right? Like, no more friends are nice. Like, you got to have friends, but guess what? Friends are not enough. At some point, you need to take off the friend hat and you need to step into the leader role. And here's the problem. If you're stuck in fear, you will always believe, right? You'll have a red light story that if you do these things, that you will push people away, that you will harm your relationships with them. And here's the truth. It's actually the exact opposite. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, your unwillingness to embrace things like accountability is part of the reason why people are stuck. They need something more from you. Not everyone, but a small percentage of the people on your team, they need you to lead them in a different way. Now, we call that different way leading with love. This is what the Love, Serve, Grow framework is about, putting love at the center of your business and your life. And love is really just strong, affirming belief. And when you believe in yourself, it gives you the ability to have those tough conversations, to sacrifice your own comfort and security for the untapped potential that lies inside of that person on your team. Because here's what I will tell you. It's in those moments, those are the greatest opportunities that we have to help people grow. And why I love WHAM so much is they give you the game plan and the confidence to start this. But they're built upon this really powerful concept of small group accountability. See, people always ask me, they ask me all the time, Bob, should I work with people one-on-one? Because I know that's what most of you are doing. You've got all these one-on-one coaching calls, conversations happening. And that's the reason why, literally you spend so much time because you're working with everybody individually. Or they say, well, what if I do it in small groups? What should I do? And for me, look, there are always going to be circumstances where you need to work with someone one-on-one. If I recruit you personally, I'm going to have to work with you one-on-one a lot. And there may be situations, but I'm telling you, 10 out of 10 times, you work with someone in a small group format, 10 out of 10 times, it will be better for their results. There's nobody in the world that can convince me differently. And I'll share with you why. Here are the benefits of small group accountability. Number one, they give you more time freedom. Think about it like this. Think about all the time that you're spending doing one-on-one coaching, all these calls, how much time you waste doing it, right? Like sometimes we'll have students that come to us and be like, Bob, I do coaching calls with my team all the time. They typically last an hour, and I'll say, well, like, how many do you do? And I probably do about 6 on average per week. And I'm like, okay, so that's 6 hours a week you're investing time into this practice. And I say, let me ask you this. What's the ROI on that? Do you meaning what are people actually taking what you're teaching them and going out and creating results and transforming their lives? And people always laugh and they say, not exactly. And I'm like, well, what happens? They're like, well, I wind up basically having the same conversations with people over and over again, completely wasting my time. And I'm like, well, here's the problem. The problem is that you are giving people your time in the wrong way. Look, here's how simple it is. Take the 6 people you're spending an hour with each, put them together on one 30-minute wham. You just bought back 5.5 hours of your personal time. They say it can't be that easy. I go, it is that easy. I'm like, listen, you have to create boundaries. I know this is something we all struggle with, having boundaries. You got to create a boundary around what people need to do to deserve your personal time. Look, if you're giving your time every week to somebody that's not doing anything with it, an uncommitted person, and remember, how do we measure commitment? I don't care what you say. What do you do? Don't tell me you want to be successful. Show me. And if you're not doing the work, you're not committed. And a lot of times what we do as a leader, and this is, the bigger your team gets, the bigger problem this becomes. We give our time away to people that are undeserving, that are not committed, and then we become resentful of them. Look, they're not the problem. You're the problem, right? If you don't respect your own time enough, then don't get mad at somebody else if they don't. But I'm telling you, if you literally just start consolidating a lot of this one-on-one coaching you're doing, it's gonna buy you your time back. What do you do with it? I don't know. How about enjoy your success? How about be a mom, be a dad, go do something you love. Remember why you did this in the first place? Because of freedom. Look, I look at a lot of your lives, you ain't got freedom. You don't have time freedom. You're literally connected to your phone 24/7. We need to start to change that for you. Your life doesn't exist to serve your business. Your business exists to serve your life. You need to start believing that and practicing that today. Now, if this was the only reason that why WHAMs were important, then maybe they're not something that you have to do if it's just good for you. But here's why they're a no-brainer. They're also better for the people that are on the WHAM. See, the thing is this: small group accountability makes it very difficult for people to give you excuses and not do the work. You can't hide on a WHAM and in a small group, right? To be respectful of everyone else's time, there's no room for your stories or excuses. Look, when somebody gets on a one-on-one call with you, all they got is excuses and reasons why they didn't want to do it. All they want to do is complain. And it's hard sometimes for us to have those tough conversations, right? Because we're friends with them. We've built personal relationships. And it's hard for us to deliver that message. It's really scary. But in a small group setting, it's so easy because you don't even have to say it to people, right? Like one of the things that we have people do, and I'm going to lay this out for you in a second. When you're on a WHAM in a small group, one of the first things you do in the beginning of the call is everybody goes through and gives their numbers, right? Their activity numbers. What did you do? You're not going to have somebody that's going to get on that WHAM every week and say, I didn't do anything. Because here's the thing. They'll say, I didn't do anything. And then they'll want to give you the excuse. But the WHAM creates a boundary. There's no excuses. Just give me your numbers. You either did it or you didn't do it. And the first time somebody has to come onto a WHAM and say, yeah, I didn't do anything, and they can't give you the excuse, Oh my God, does that hurt? It is embarrassing. It makes them angry. And guess what? That's good, because they need to be embarrassed. They need to get angry. They need to start facing the reality. Like, you want to know why your business ain't where you want it to be? Because you ain't doing anything. You ain't working hard enough. You're not focusing on the right things. Small groups do it. They literally does it for you. Or let's say you have to deliver a difficult message. You can do it in the group format without necessarily talking to a specific person. And I'm telling you, everybody that needs to hear it will hear it. So that's the next thing. Next thing that small groups do is they provide relational support. This is important. Look, you would expect that the world we live in today, that we'd feel more connected than ever with technology and social media and Zooms and live video, but the opposite is true. We've never felt more alone. And look, here's what we need to recognize. The journey of building a successful business and the journey of leadership is a really lonely one. Because look, here's what happens. The more successful people become, the less likely they are to ask for help, because they just feel like, I should know this. And they don't want to bother, you don't want to bother your upline. In the beginning, you always ask for questions. So what winds up happening is we wind up just kind of languishing, living these lives of quiet desperation where we feel lost and alone and we don't know what to do. When you get people on a WHAM, it provides relational support. And that is so important, because when you connect like-minded people that are all at or around the same level, it helps normalize the process and the challenges for them. It lets them know that what they're going through is okay. And that is an environment where people begin to flourish and grow. The next thing it does is it teaches people how to actually run a business. One of the most important functions of a WHAM is getting people to think like a business owner, to know their numbers, to have clear goals, to measure their progress towards those goals. Most of the people on your team are nothing more than accidental leaders. They have no clue how to run a business. WHAMs will teach them how to do that. And then the last thing it does, we've already talked about this, it creates an incredible winning team culture. Let me share another success story with you, one of our students. So Catherine shared that prior to joining our Next Level program, she had been stuck in her business for 3 years. There was no growth. My leaders were all stuck, and I could tell people were losing hope. One of the first things I did was implement WHAMs, and it was mind-blowing to see what happened. Within 5 months, my income doubled. That was a result of my ability to help my leaders get unstuck and finally rank advance. My team is excited. It has energy. It's hard to put into words how impactful this program has been. And this, in a large part, was because of WHAMs. So let's get into the WHAM. How do we run the WHAM? What is the WHAM? So the first question I want to answer is this: who should we invite to a WHAM? This is an important one, because literally the success or the failure of a WHAM is determined by who you invite. And hey, by the way, let me just say this. If you happen to join us a little bit late, I'm going through a lot of information tonight. We're really going to dig deep into how to run these WHAMs, but I want to remind you, every single one of you got access to a very detailed and comprehensive PDF implementation guide that I'm literally teaching you from tonight, that has everything I'm talking about plus a lot more information that I want to make sure that you have as a resource, so that you don't feel the need to have to write down everything that I'm saying. You have all this in that guide, okay? But I'm giving you some additional perspective, and I'm really highlighting some of the key points. But here's who WHAMs are designed for. And by the way, the guide has homework assignments to take the concepts that I'm teaching you and give you the implementation points, like the action points of what you do with each one of them. So the guide is literally worth its weight in gold. But WHAMs are designed for what we call your 5%ers. So your 5%ers are the people on your team that are actually committed in working their business. Look, if you really are honest with yourself, you're not going to have more than just a handful of people on your team that are really out there committed doing the work. Now, if you're somebody on here that has a much larger team, that 5% becomes a much larger population of people. If you've got a smaller team, it might only be 1 or 2 people that you need to have at least 2 people for it to be a WHAM. If it's just you and one other person, it's not technically a group the way that it needs to be. but you may only have 1 or 2 people that fit that category. But WAMs are not for the masses. WAMs are only for the people that actually have a true desire to want to build this and want to make it work. Now, remember how we measure commitment, not words, through action. Now, one of the easiest ways to measure commitment is rank advancements. So if you have someone on your team that's rank advancing, that's the clearest indication that they're out there doing the work. Now, they might not be doing the work exactly the way that you would like them to, but they're working. They're seeing progress. So if somebody hasn't even hit the first rank of your comp plan, they're not a candidate for a WAM. That's what your basic training is for. Go out, implement the basic training, show me that you've got at least some level of proficiency in that. And then once you start hitting my radar by hitting ranks, now you're a candidate for a WAM. But what I recommend you do is this. The best way to run a WAM is if you can select people based off of their rank. Now, let me share with you at my peak, I had 3 WAMs that I ran in my business, okay? I had a lower level WAM. Now I want you to think of this. And by the way, this is one of the homework assignments in your guide. I go through some detailed questions to help you figure out what the best WAM would be for you to start, because there's lots of different options. But at my peak, here's what I had. I had a lower level WAM. Now, most compensation plans have what's considered to be like the first real leadership rank. Now, typically in my experience, that's usually somewhere around 10,000 a month in volume. Might not be exactly that, but there's usually this rank that when someone hits, it's like the first big deal thing. Like you really know I've got someone that's serious. I had a lower level WAM that were all people that had not hit that rank yet, but were working towards that rank. So, like ours, we used to have, that rank was called director. And there was a level 1, there was a level 2, there was a level 3, there was a level 4, and then there was the director rank. So the WAM comprised of people that were basically level 2s, 3s, and 4s that were all working towards director. They kind of all were around the same place. They all had the same issues. I ran a WAM. And the goal was for them to hit that rank. Now, don't go off that 10,000 a month number as like set in stone. That's just around what it was for us. Just there's a rank in your comp plan that's like the first real leadership rank. Just figure out what that is. I had a second WAM that was made up of people that had already hit that first real leadership rank, but they were working towards the next big rank. Now, here's the thing. The jump from that first real leadership rank to the next one is usually a pretty long journey, right? It might be 100,000 in volume a month. It might be 75,000, but there's a lot of growth that needs to happen there. So I had a WAM with people that fell into that category. And then I had a third WAM that I ran, which were 3 of my top leaders. These were all people that were at or around my same rank. We all kind of were dealing with the same issues. And I ran 3 WAMs a week, 30 minutes each with those 3 groups. And I'm telling you, it literally transformed my business forever. Now, here's the guideline in your PDF guide. I'm going to walk you through a series of questions to help you decide the best place to start. Here's some of the guidelines. For the WAM to be effective, you do not want to start with more than 10 to 15 people max. Never more than 20. If the WAM gets bigger than 20, it's not going to be as effective anymore because it's going to take way too long to actually run. So using the framework of 10 to 15 max, if it's less, that's fine. Have that become the criteria by which you make your selection. So here's some examples. You may do a WAM with only your first or second generation leaders that fall into the qualification. You may do a WAM only in one particular team of yours that you need strategically to hit your next goal. So WAMs can be a tool to help you start to rank advance faster. Maybe you've got a really, really big business and you're like, well, Bob, I mean, there's so many different places that I could start a WAM. This might be something to consider. What if you did a WAM with your top people as kind of a beta test? You present it to them like, hey, this is something that I think will be really good for our team. I want us to do it together so that you could then have them break off. The expectation would be in 60 days, they break off and they all do their own WAMs. So we can create duplication faster. Look, the goal is this: just start somewhere, set up and run your first successful WAM, and then have that be the springboard for you to begin to duplicate it in your team. Now, if you have a small team, it might be easy for you to decide. Maybe there's only 2 or 3 people that you can do this with, and that's fine. That's where you start. If you don't have a team yet, that's cool too. You're going to have this in your back pocket ready. Once you do build a team, you'll be able to implement it. All right. When it comes to inviting, this is the key thing I want you to realize. So we've identified, we're going to help you identify who to invite. Now we want to focus on how to invite them. And I'm telling you, the way you invite people to a group like this is also going to determine the success or failure. You can't be like lackadaisical with this. You can't like put it out into your group or just send people a message, hey, we're doing this, you should show. There needs to be a very serious, clearly defined conversation that you have with them so they know that this is a big deal. Because guess what? It is a big deal. WAMs, an invitation to a WAM is a form of recognition. It's basically you saying to somebody, I see potential in you and I want to invite you to this group, this select group, to get more access to me because of what you've done in your business. And here's the thing. If you make it a big deal when you invite them, they're more likely to treat it like one. But these conversations must be done live and they must be done individually. Otherwise, it's not an enrollment conversation. So here are the key elements of the enrollment conversation. And one of the things you're going to do in your PDF guide, we're going to help you select a day and a time to start, okay? And then we're going to help you select the people that you want to invite. And then we're going to show you how to have it. So inside of your guide, I literally have like bullet points of language. The whole conversation flow is right there. I'm going to go over it at a high level with you right now. But the first thing you want to do, you've set up a time, you're on the phone with them, or you're on a Zoom with them, is you just want to recognize them for their hard work and commitment, right? Let them know, right? I'm putting together this high level, this small leadership group to focus on helping people achieve their goals, right? Rank, advance faster, move their business forward. And I want to invite you, right? Based off of what I've seen you doing, I believe in you. I see potential in you. I want to teach you how to work smarter. This is going to be a big deal, right? So you're basically just letting them know, listen, this is not for everyone. And the fact that I'm even inviting you, you should feel really good because you've been doing some incredible things. Now, after you've gone through and kind of had that initial conversation with them, you want to temperature check them. And what that basically means is once you've said, look, I'm doing this thing, I want to invite you, here's why, say, look, are you interested in hearing the details? Because you may have people that right away give you a little bit of hesitation or an objection. And guess what? That's normal and it's okay. Here's where WAMs will be really important for you, is they will really help you get clear on the most committed people on your team. And I'm telling you, there's people on your team that you think are committed, that you think are serious, that right now just aren't that way. And maybe they're in a bad season of their life that has taken them away from their business. But at this point, if someone even blinks or hesitates, gracefully allow them to bow out of the conversation. Don't make someone feel bad because they're not ready for a WAM. But if you've gone through that, they say yes, now we want to move on to the second point, which is we want to go over the guidelines and we want to in their expectations for participating. See, here's where we set very clear boundaries around what people need to do to be a part of the group. So listen, I see a lot of you are asking questions. I'm going to be answering the questions at the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, make sure you mark it as a question. So when I'm done, I'll go back and I'll answer all the questions and I'll take questions. So But so here's where we want to set boundaries. See, boundaries are important because they give you the ability to do something important, which is give coaching to people that are not following through. Here are some of the key points that you're going to cover with them. It's going to be a small group. There's going to be a specific day and time. The session will last 30 minutes. It'll be on Zoom. The purpose of the group is for coaching and accountability. We want to help you focus on the right actions to reach your goals, right? We want to keep you on track. And I want to be able to give you that coaching and feedback you need to start moving your business forward. But then we want to go through expectations. And this is an important part of the enrollment conversation. And listen, we're not asking them to do anything that a serious person should not be able to do. Number one is show up and be prepared. It's 30 minutes a week. You're going to commit to a time. And by the way, there is no perfect day and time. We have students of ours that do WAMs early in the morning, late at night, weekends, middle of the day, you name it. There's not going to be a perfect day and time. And not everybody's going to be available for that day and time. So you pick a day and time that makes the most sense for you and that works for the majority of the group, and you go with it then. But they're committing to being there. So it's not too much for us to ask that you honor that commitment. The other thing is this, there's going to be specific assignments that they're given. They have to complete their assignments. They're not difficult assignments. If you're working your business, they should not be hard to commit. We want you to commit to honesty and integrity, right? If you lie about what you're doing, you're only lying to yourself. No negativity or excuses allowed in the group. Zero tolerance for that. We want to provide a supportive environment. We want to show up for one another. I want them to agree to allow me to challenge and push them when necessary. This is an important part of this conversation. When they start falling off, you want to be able to point back to this and say, hey, remember what we said. We even have gone so far, just so you know, we even have gone so far that we've created an actual PDF that you can print up and give them with all of what I'm going over with you to make sure they're clear communication on these areas. And then the other thing is this, what happens on a WAM stays on a WAM. We want to honor the individuals in the group by keeping what is said private and safe. And these are the expectations. And we want to be clear that they're not optional. If you do not adhere to them, you will be asked to leave, right? It's a no nonsense, set of rules. The next thing we're then going to do is we're going to get them excited about why they're there. So once we've gone on over the boring, serious stuff, now we want to get them excited. Look, here's what you have to realize. People won't buy what you do unless they know why it's important to them. So I want to get people genuinely excited about what this WAM is going to do for their business, right? Get them, ask them questions. What would it be like and what would it feel like if you were able to finally get unstuck and hit that next rank in the next 90 days? What would it feel like to see real progress in your business, to grow as a leader, right? To be able to start changing other people's lives, like really plant that seed of how their business is going to be better and get them excited, get them fired up. Don't make it seem like it's all just work and hard stuff. Like if they know why it's important to them, they'll be willing to go through the process. And then the last thing we want to do is get their buy-in. So once we've gone over all this with them, all you want to do is basically say this, given all this, are you up for the group? I really would love to have you. And unless it's a clear yes, it's a no. Look, if you sense any hesitation at all, you've got to give them an out. Let them know, look, it's okay if it's not for you. We don't want somebody to feel bad because they're not ready for the WAM. It just means that it's not the right fit for them, but it might not always not be the right fit. But once we've got that buy-in, we're good to go. You've got yourself a WAM participant. And what I'm going to have you do, you got to have this conversation, this enrollment conversation with every single person. So in your PDF guide, we're going to help you pick a day and a time, and then we're going to get you in the process of beginning to invite. And I've got all that language that's in there right now. Share another success story with you. I love this one. This is a recent one that came in from Lacey. She started implementing WAMs 2 weeks ago. I created 3 different groups, and between those 3 groups, over half of my team's recruits for the month were from the WAMs. Lacey's actually in our next level program. She said, girls that are in there haven't recruited in over a year are bringing in new team members left and right. It is incredible how it's working. So just another testament to what WHAMs can and will do. Now, I mentioned this before, but pick a specific day and time. There is no perfect day and time, but here's the other thing. You need to use Zoom. Zoom is important because it's a live event and people have to show up. There's no recording. You don't record WHAMs. If you're not on the WHAM, you miss it that week, right? Now, the reason why we don't want to record them is because if you record the WHAM, there's less urgency for people to be on there. Now, are people going to make every week? No, life gets in the way. But here's all we ask. If you can't make it, you let me know ahead of time. Now, you'll be shocked at how people literally, you will have people that you have that enrollment conversation with that will literally miss the first meeting. And you'll be like, really? Like, we just had the conversation 3 days ago and you missed the first meeting. But that's a good thing, because when people slip up, what it is it's an opportunity for us to give them some necessary coaching, which we'll talk about shortly. But we don't record. Look, if you can't make it, tell me. It's okay. I don't want to see a pattern, but I need to see the accountability. Like, it's not a Facebook group. It's not a call. I need to see your face and hear your voice. Because when you're reporting your numbers, if that's the environment, way, way, way more powerful. So let's talk about running your first WHAM. So we've got it set up. We picked a day and time. You got your people. They're hopping on. What do we do? How do we run it? First thing I want to recommend is this. And I've trialed this all different types of lengths of time. I recommend you run your WHAMs in 90-day cycles. Specific start, specific end time. Now, there's lots of research to support setting goals in 90-day increments, shorter, more attainable cycles of goals, increase goal achievement dramatically. I find that 90 days is long enough to help people set meaningful goals, but short enough to keep them focused. The first 30 days of a WHAM, people are just trying to figure it out. You're not going to see a lot of progress. Second 60 days of a WHAM, people are starting to get traction. They're falling into line. They're stepping up. And in the last 90 days, people really start seeing real amazing progress. Sometimes it happens faster, but 90-day cycles. Now, why that's important, you want a specific end date so that what'll happen is over the course of the WHAM, you'll notice that certain people have certain issues that come up. Well, at the end of the 90 days, it gives you the ability to have individual conversations with people. And basically the conversation is, look, here's the coaching I want to give you. If you want to continue to the next WHAM, here's what I need from you. So we can set a baseline of how we need people to show up differently. Now, you're going to have a tool with WHAMs here that you can modify. So some people will take a WHAM and they'll do a stripped down modified version. So like, let's say I'm just giving you some other applications. It's not a WHAM, but you could use it in a WHAM-like fashion. Let's say you recruited 6 new people next month. You got all these people you're working with and trying to train. Well, it might be beneficial for you to bring those 6 people together in a WHAM-like setting and have them be working together. That would be very beneficial to people. The other thing is this, you may have a group of people that you're not so sure of. Like, I don't know if I want to commit 90 days to these people because I need to see that they're really committed. So you could do a 30-day beta test. You could say, look, we're going to test this out for 30 days. And if it goes well, we'll continue for the next 60 days. So there's a little bit of flexibility about how you use it and how you run it, but 90-day cycles we found to be the best. So we're setting a 90-day, we're a 90-day cycle. And what goes along with that is this. We want to have every member set a 90-day goal. Maybe it's a rank advancement goal. If there are people that are a little bit more advanced in their business, maybe that next rank isn't doable in 90 days. So maybe they set a goal to get a certain team of theirs to a certain level of volume, or their overall team volume to grow to a certain number. Maybe it's more productivity goals, like, I'm going to have a certain amount of personal recruits over the next 90 days. Like, there's a lot of different ways I'm going to help someone on my team hit a rank in the next 90 days. There's lots of different ways to do that, but every person has a clearly defined 90-day goal. And then here's the next step. You want to help them determine the right activities that they should be focusing on each week and the level of those activities that they should be executing. See, one of the biggest benefits of a WHAM is it gives people the clarity to know what to focus on. And listen, at the end of the day, there's only a handful of things that people really should be doing to help them move their business forward, right? We call these the income producing activities. Your job is to either decide for people, right? That to me is ideal. Like, I'll decide what I think the 3 or 4 things that you need to focus on. And these are the things that we have you report. So the very beginning of a WHAM, every single person shows up and publicly says, here's how much of each of these things I did during the week. But it goes even a step further. We have them set what's called a minimum baseline. This is basically, you identify the things you want them to do, and then you ask them this question. What is the minimum level of activity that you can commit to help you move towards your goal? So they take each of those things and they say, I commit to doing this much. Now, it needs to be doable. See, minimum baseline, you need to set that hurdle low enough so that you know that they can jump over it successfully. And even more than that, they told you how high to set the hurdle. So if they don't jump over it, you call them out. Like, it's like, look, here's what imagine in the beginning of every WHAM, they say, here's what I said I was going to do, and here's what I did. And imagine somebody reporting, I said I was going to do this, but I didn't do it. That facilitates self-accountability. They won't like that. They'll trust me when I tell you they'll do more. But one of the biggest mistakes that people make when implementing accountability is they set the bar way too high. Let me give you an example. If you have someone that isn't even talking to one new person per day about their business, and you say, hey, all right, you're serious? You're going to talk to 15 new people a day, and that's what we're going to do, and you get them fired up, and I'm telling you, you just set that person up for failure. There is no way in the world they are going to be able to go from 0 to 15 meaningful conversations and follow through with that. And here's what winds up happening with most like massive action accountability groups. All they wind up doing is leaving people off worse than when they started. Here's the secret to accountability. Set the bar low. Help people successfully jump over the bar so that they can start feeling better about themselves. See, the problem is this: you set the bar too high, you're setting them up for failure. I'd rather have a minimum baseline of talking to one new person a day for the first week if they're doing 0 to make that doable, right? You can always increase the minimum baseline if you see somebody consistently hitting that number. But doing it this way accomplishes an important goal. Now, you might need to work with people, right? If their minimum baseline and 90-day goal are way out of whack, you might say, well, we might need to adjust this. This is the conversations you have with people individually. But here's what this does. This is important. The WHAM process, and specifically minimum baselines, teach people how to honor their commitment to themselves and build trust with themselves. Look, I'm telling you this right now. Most of the people on your team, they don't realize this, but they don't trust themselves anymore when it comes to their business, because they've set and broken promises to themselves over and over again for so long. They have no personal integrity. The way that you break this pattern for them and get them on the right path is set the bar low and start celebrating them for small wins. When you can teach people how to start honoring their commitment to themselves and start trusting themselves again, man, the difference that makes in the way that people show up is extraordinary. So let's move into the WHAM format. So the WHAM is 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes max. If your WHAMs are going more than 45 minutes, then you're doing something wrong. 30 minutes, okay? Your very first WHAM what you're going to do is you're basically going to go over with them the following things. Okay. And we have a PDF. In your PDF, we have a breakdown of all these things. But the first WHAM is going to be a little different because we're just setting the groundwork and we're getting them ready to know what's about to come. But here's the 30-minute WHAM format. So the first WHAM, we're going through all the stuff we talked about. But the actual WHAM is this one. The first 5 minutes of the WHAM, each person shares their numbers. So you go around, call on each person. They say, okay, my minimum baseline was this. Here's what I did for those 3 to 4 activities that you select. But here's the other part, and this is where WHAMs are also very powerful. You got to give your numbers too. Yeah, that's right. You subject yourself to all of the same accountability. Now, this is what makes WHAMs a little scary for people sometimes, but I'm telling you, when you lead people that way, you will elevate your leadership with them tremendously. It forces you to focus on the right things, but everybody goes around and gives their numbers. Now, remember, all we want is your numbers. We don't want to hear your excuse and we don't want to hear your reason why. If somebody starts to give you the story, you got to step in and say, Sally, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we don't have time for the story. Remember, that was one of the things we talked about. We can't give the story. Right? Divorce the story, marry the results. Look, I get it. You don't like the results. That's one thing, but guess what? You can change it. And you got to police that. You got to be black and white. Everybody goes around, gives their numbers. I'm telling, like, if all you did for the WHAM was just do that, that would change people's businesses, right? That's why group accountability is so powerful. The next 5 minutes, we recommend doing a win of the week. You may pre-select someone that you know had something great happen to them in their business and say, hey, would you mind sharing that as the win of the week on the WHAM? I'll call on you. Or you might just open it up. Does anybody have a win of the week they want to share? I want something positive that we can focus on to let people know that, hey, that this stuff works if we actually do it. The next 5 to 7 minutes, we want to address a current challenge that someone's facing. Once again, this may be something you have pre-selected, somebody that's on a WHAM. So here's where the time saving factor really comes in. You may have somebody that brings a problem to you. It's not an urgent problem, but they want your advice and they're in a WHAM. So what you say to them is you say, look, this would be a great topic for the WHAM. So why don't we table this? I'll put it on the list and we'll talk about this as a group. So now you have the ability to take that question, that thing that if they're struggling with, I promise other people are, and address it in a public format where you can not just add value to that one person, but to everyone else that's on the WHAM. So once you're running WHAMs, your awareness is going to increase where you're constantly looking for the positives and the challenges. And here's the other thing. When you raise your awareness, it also helps you for the final part of the WHAM, which is this. The final 10 to 15 minutes of a WHAM is either some sort of a training topic that you've pre-selected or a hot seat coaching session, which are so easy. Hot seat is basically this. You invite someone onto the WHAM and you just talk to them about how their business is going, right? What are the challenges you're facing? Where do you need some help? And you hear me do this all the time. We do hot seats in our programs. On Clubhouse every morning, I'm coaching people. You hear me coaching people and you're getting tremendous value out of it. You can provide the same thing. Now, this is also where it's going to force you to step up as a leader because a lot of you might not see yourself in that area. This is going to be a part where you start to grow. But at the very least, you have a training topic, something that during the week, it could be a timely topic. Maybe there's some sort of promotion, new product, change in the comp plan, event coming up. Pick a topic that would be important for you as a leadership group to be on the same page with and have that be the thing. And I'm telling you, don't stress out about the last part because if all you ever did were the first 3 things, the WHAM would be a home run. The last part is just a bonus, but that's the 30-minute format. Inside of your implementation guide, we literally have a PDF you can print up that goes over that. You can have it in front of you while you're running the WHAM to give you the confidence that you need. And then the last thing I want to share with you is this, getting the most out of your WHAM. So here's where the rubber hits the road. Here's the real work. I want you to know this, WHAMs are not going to be a fun, easy process for some people starting out. It really gets them to face the reality that they're just not doing enough or focusing on the right things, and change is painful and growth sometimes is hard. But what's going to happen, because we've set such clear boundaries, situations will pop up that require you to step up and lead people. So I gave you an example already. You're going to literally have people the first wham that just don't show. That just told you days earlier that they would. And issues will come up that you need to address, because whams will teach you a lot about the true commitment level of the people on your team. Let me give you some examples of things that are going to happen. And it's not a matter of if, it's when. People won't show up and they will not let you know. People will not, they won't be hitting their minimum baseline numbers, or I'm actually going to share with you a tracker sheet that we help people create. They won't send it to you. You're going to have people that are constantly canceling last minute, even though they committed and told you that day and time would work. For some reason, they can never make it work. You're going to have negative people. You're going to have people that kind of are a little toxic to the group. What I'm telling you is this: how you handle these things when they happen is crucial. I want you to look at all of these things as opportunities for you to provide critical coaching and feedback. See, because it's when people slip up and do things like this, that's the greatest opportunities you have to help people grow. Because you can point out to them blind spots that they have about how their actions and behaviors are actually contributing to their struggles. And the way that we do that, and this is in your guide, is what we call the carefrontational approach. And it's based off of love, serve, grow. It's not confrontation, it's carefrontation. Because remember, when you're leading with love, you care enough about that other person's results to sacrifice your own comfort and security. See, people tell me, they say, Bob, I love my team. I say, do you? Because if you're not doing things like this, you're not loving your team. You love them only if it's convenient for you. And guess what? That's not love. Leading with love requires something very different. And when we talk about the carefrontational approach, it's a framework for a conversation that helps facilitate breakthroughs in people. And it's based off this concept that you need to learn how to go hard on the issue, but soft on the person. Provide them the direct coaching and feedback they need. Do not shy away from the issue. You know what happened. You need to point it out to them. But at the same time, give them the necessary relational support to facilitate growth. If somebody feels attacked by you, they're never going to receive the message that you give them. And we do it through this framework we call KISS, kick, kiss. And KISS, kick, kiss, if you think of it, sandwich the direct coaching and feedback around two compliments. Build them up, give them the feedback, tear them down, but then build them back up. Here's an example of what it sounds like. And I'm going to go through this quickly with you because all of this is in your implementation guide, but I just want to give you a sense of what I'm talking about. So let's say so-and-so didn't show for the wham, didn't tell me. I reach out to them. Now, the thing is this: you never want to have these conversations through Messenger. It has to be live. You need to be live with them, okay? I set up a time to talk to you about an issue, and here's what I say. Look, I want to talk to you about the fact that you didn't make the meeting last night. And not that you didn't make it, but you didn't tell me. And I want you to understand, now here's where I'm going to kiss them, right? I want you to understand the only reason I'm having this conversation with you right now is because I truly care about you and I want to see you succeed in this business. And I know that you can, and I might even reference their goal. I know you have that goal. And I know one of the reasons why you're doing this is because you want to help your husband come home from work. And I want that as much as you, right? So I'm providing that relational support to know that I'm here for you. But then I'm about to give them the kick, and I'm going to be real direct about the issue. And it might sound something like this, but here's the issue. Your actions and words aren't in alignment. You said you want to hit that goal. You want to solve that problem. You want to bring your husband home from work, but you're not doing the little things that are going to get you there. A big part of success is just showing up for yourself, making your business a priority. You made a commitment to this group. You said you would be there. And I told you, look, if you can't make it, that's okay. Just let me know, but you didn't let me know. That wasn't very respectful of my time either. Now, that's being pretty direct. Some of you might be cringing thinking like, oh man, I don't know if I could say that to people. Well, I got news for you. The fact that you don't care enough to say that to people is part of the reason why people on your team are struggling. Now, you're not responsible for their success, but here's what you are responsible to do is to lead them in the moments where they need you the most. See, what I'm telling you right now, and I want you to think about it. Isn't this what real friends do? Like, if you're fortunate enough to have one real friend in your life, isn't this the stuff that they do? Like, they call you out on your stuff, and that's why you love them, because you know they care about you. And I'm telling you that you need to be that to the people on your team. Now, if you're stuck in fear in your red light core story, you're always going to struggle doing this, because you'll create a red light story that if I do this, I'll push them away. But yet there's proof right in front of you that it does the exact opposite. You respect people so much that care enough to show up for you in this way. And I'm telling you, you need to be willing to do that. The WHAMs give you very easy opportunities to have these kinds of conversations. Now we want to go back to the KISS though, right? Look, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm being hard on you. It's just that I know you have so much potential, right? I wish I would have had somebody that cared enough to push me this way. So here's my question to you. Are you really committed to this process, and do you want to do those things? Just tell me yes or no. And then I also want to give them an out. I want to recognize that there's going to be some people that commit to the WHAM that once they get on it, realize they're not ready to or willing to do the work. And guess what? That's okay. That just means that's where they are. So I want to give them an out. Look, if the answer is no, that's fine. I still love you. I still care about you. I don't want you to, I don't want them to feel wrong. But I want you to understand, if it's a yes, I need you to do the little things or you're not a part of the group anymore. It just has to be this way to protect the integrity of the group. Now, generally speaking, and by the way, all that's in your implementation guide. Generally speaking, I have a 2-strike and you're out policy. You do it once, I give you the benefit of the doubt. We have this conversation and you do the exact same thing again, then that is a blaring red neon sign, you telling me I ain't ready. And it's okay, because it's your business. But I know, like, here's like something as little as just may seem like a little thing, like, oh, they just didn't show and they didn't tell me. I'm telling you, that's not a little thing. Like not sending in a form that they told you they would. See, it could be, it's not a little thing. It's an indication of a much bigger issue, which is their business isn't a priority to them. And it's okay if it's not. But guess what? You're not going to give your time to people that are not committed to their own success. So listen, don't get discouraged if people come and go. If you invite 10 and 5 leave, don't worry about the 5 that left, because that's not serving the 5 that stayed. Focus on those 5 people with all your time, energy, and attention and help them grow their business. Now, and I want to challenge you, you need to start leading your team in this way. Now, a couple final things I'll share with you here is I'm going to give you some tips here. So I found that there's a tool that you can create that is incredibly powerful for people that are on the WHAM. So remember, we had them set a 90-day goal. We want a clear goal. We then want to be able to teach people how to start measuring progress to a goal, because goal research also says if you have a clearly defined goal, if you measure your progress toward that goal and have accountability, there's a 300% chance better that you hit that goal. So think about it. This is all built into a WHAM: accountability, setting goals, measuring progress to goals. I'm about to show you. People that are on the WHAMs are 300% more likely to hit their goals. Okay, just by getting in the WHAM, it does the work for you. But this is also one of the quickest and easiest ways to teach people how to start running a real business, how to start thinking like a business owner. And this is an example of a rank advancement tracker sheet. So it doesn't have to be this pretty. You could literally draw this out, but I want you to imagine that somebody has a specific rank goal as their 90-day goal. What you want to do is visually draw out what they would need to do to hit that rank. And imagine this. Imagine that this sheet needed to be completely filled out to hit the rank. And every week they're filling it out. Now they need 3 teams. Like, this was a sheet that I actually used to explain this to you. To hit this specific rank for the WHAM that everybody was on, they needed 3 teams with a certain amount of volume. So what I ask them to do every week is pull up your back office and look at the total volume in the 3 teams that you're focusing on to help you to get to the rank. So they're literally tracking their progress. Now, they may have already had one team that already met the qualification. So that was kind of like, that was, you know, they had that number in there and they knew that that team was done. I didn't need to focus on that team. But they may only have had 2 teams. So that third box was totally blank because they didn't even have a third team. But guess what? That was a constant reminder to them, I need another person. So what's so powerful is, as they fill out this form, it's literally directing them to where the best investment of their time is. So in this form, they're filling out the volume, they're tracking progress. But here's the other thing that I had them do. The way you drive volume is through working with specific people. So every single week, I ask them a question. Who are the 3 top people in that team that you're in communication with for that week? So they were writing 3 names down under there. And it was a reminder to them, these are the 3 people I need to be working with because this is how I'm going to increase that volume number. And guess what? They may only have 1 person on that one line, but that's okay. It's a reminder that they need to be building deeper, finding more people. There might be names that change week to week, because they might have John's name on there and then realize John flaked out, so he's not on there. So who else am I going to work with? But do you understand what I'm trying to teach you here? A simple sheet of paper is literally teaching people how to think like a CEO of their own business. And it does it itself. And what we have people do is this. We help people create these. And this is one of their assignments. They fill it out, they take a picture of it, and they send it to you the day of the WAM. Another assignment. Simple thing to do, but people won't do it. And my thing is this, is if your business isn't enough of a priority to you that you can spend half an hour to fill out this form and get on the WAM, then that tells me all I need to know about where you are in your business. But this right here also becomes a coaching tool. Now, they're not sharing this with everyone. They're only sending it to you. But you can use this when someone's on a hot seat with you. You can have their form right in front of you and say, okay, so I see the volume in this leg is low. Tell me a bit about John. I see his name on there. What are you doing with John to drive the volume? It becomes a diagnostic tool to help you with their coaching. So powerful to do. When I implemented this, oh my God, it was like night and day. Now, in your implementation guide, we have a couple of other examples of the form. And I'll just tell you this, in Next Level, we focus heavily on coaching WAMs. So I review your forms in Next Level. I coach you on how to run them. Everybody's doing WAM, so everybody's sharing tips and strategies. And I only mention that because, as I told you in the beginning, I'm going to be sharing that as a program with you. And I'll tell you who it is and who it isn't for. But if you're somebody that fits the qualifications of who it is for, I want to let you know that I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually work personally with me to help you create your forms and help you implement everything that I'm teaching you here tonight. So, and then here's the other part. This whole structure, what it does is it teaches people how to acknowledge the results. They're filling out the form. They're facing the reality of where their business is. They're constantly measuring progress towards the goal, but we're recognizing and celebrating them for activity and effort. Because remember, they don't have control over the results. They only have control over what they do leading up to the results. So the focus in terms of recognition is what they're doing, because as we recognize people for doing stuff, they'll do more. The results naturally begin to happen. One other tip that I'll give you, and this is a really powerful thing to do if you're running a WAM, and I got this from some of our students, set up a Voxer chat with all of the people on the WAM. So Voxer is a free walkie-talkie app that you can put all the people in the WAM in a group voice chat. And what they can do is stay in contact with one another every day. Maybe they want to report their numbers for the day, whether they hit their minimum baseline for that day. Maybe you can give them little words of encouragement, right? Like a lot of our students say, when we implemented this, their results went through the roof. Because remember, we talked how important that relational support is. What if you could give them that relational support, not 30 minutes a week, but 24/7? Voxer is a great tool to help you to do that. And then the last question that we get a lot is, what happens at the end of the 90 days? So at the end of the 90 days, what I recommend is this: have people do a self-assessment. Like I go to you, I set up a time to talk to you live. Hey, now that the WAM's almost over, let's set up a time to talk about, the process. And I say, look, how would you grade yourself? What do you think you did well? Where do you think you can improve? And I'll even ask them, how could I be better in the next WAM cycle, right? I want to have a real good dialogue with them. But then if there were issues that person had, now's the time that you address it with them. Maybe they weren't doing enough. Maybe they need to raise their minimum baseline and they were unwilling to do that. Maybe they didn't show up enough, right? They missed too many of them. You say, look, if you want to be a part of the next group, here's what I need from you. Maybe the group stops there. Maybe you're like, Bob, the group's dead. Nobody's doing anything. I think I might want to go do a different group, or maybe I'll take a break and go out and find some new people that I can do it with. But you've got that. But here's the other goal: duplication. Start duplicating this on your team. Challenge some of the people on the WAM to do their WAM. Imagine this. We have students of ours that literally have a half a dozen WAMs happening a week, and they're not doing any of them because they started the process with this tool. All right. So we're going to take some questions here in a second. I see we got lots of questions, but here's my question to you. How many of you would like to work personally with me on not only how to set up, but how to run your WAMs? I review your forms. I give you that coaching and direction that as you're running your WAM, you get that, that valuable insight into, hey, here's what happened. Here's how I handle that. The coaching component of it is really important. Well, I want to share with you, and I'm going to share an opportunity where you can get to do that. So I'd like to introduce to you, and I'm excited because this is actually the first time that we've publicly offered this program in a live training format. So I'm really excited for some of you that are going to be right for this program. But I want to talk to you a little bit tonight about our Next Level Leadership program. Next Level Leadership is basically my group coaching program. If you've ever wanted to work personally with me live on a weekly basis, this is the program to do it. It's a high-level coaching program for leaders that have already achieved a level of success in their business. You're closing in, or you're already at that six-figure level. You're looking to go to six figures, multiple six figures and beyond. But you really, really want that freedom that we talked about, right? You're feeling consumed by your business. You don't have that time freedom. A big goal of yours is you want to really be able to, sure, your life has changed, but you want to help more people. I want to change other people's lives. We talk a lot about next level. We teach people how to move from profit to purpose in their business. Look, if you're somebody that's already had your life changed, but you've lost that fire, that passion, that vision of what's next for you in your business, in your life, I'm telling you, I literally created this program for you. It's about thinking different, thinking bigger, expanding your vision about what's possible, feeling more happy and fulfilled along the way. This is the program that's for you. Now, enrollment for this program is open right now. All you have to do is go to nextlevelleadership.com. But let me share with you just a little bit about what the program is. So in Legacy Leadership Academy, we help someone we call an accidental leader. In this program, our ideal customer, our ideal member, is what we call the overworked achiever. We help overworked achievers break free from the hustle and grind and build a business that gives them total freedom in their lives. Remember, that's not just financial freedom. That's time freedom. And that's the personal freedom to fall back in love with your business again. To have your business be in total alignment with who you are as a person and your vision for your life. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about the overworked achiever, because some of you might be wondering, I don't know am I that person? So the overworked achiever is somebody that has already achieved most, if not all, of their personal goals in their business, in their life. Look, you've achieved a level of success that's so far beyond anything you ever thought possible when you started, right? You're at or around that, and for some of you already past that six-figure level. You've achieved all the trips, you know, you've hit all the ranks, you've got all the bonuses, you've done it all. But here's the problem. Not enough other people on your team have done it. And that's something that really bothers you. Yes, you've changed your life, but you really feel a burning desire to change other people's lives. You know that there's a bigger calling on you in your business, and you are feeling stuck because you're not necessarily sure what you need to do to get there. The overworked achiever has achieved, but what they've had to do to get there and what they have to do every day to maintain it is literally has them on the verge of burnout. When you think of all the things that you have to do just to keep what you have, it's overwhelming to you. Like, you don't know how much longer you're going to be able to keep it up. And here's the problem. You're living a lie. And I'm going to just shoot it to you straight, because you sell this idea of freedom to the people that join your business. But when you look at your life, yes, you've got financial success, but you don't have time freedom. You don't have a business that you own. You don't have a business that runs without you. You're so afraid to step away from it because you're afraid if you step away, it's all going to fall apart, and you're not actually enjoying your success, right? People that are overworked achievers, they've created success in this one area, but they're out of alignment. They're not honoring their priorities in life, right? Remember why you started this business in the first place. To be a great mother, to be a great father, right? To do the things that are most important to you. And look, you could be at 100 grand a year. We have, you know, people in our program that are at multiple six figures that fall into this category. So when I give you the number of 100,000 a year, that's just a starting point. You might be on your way there, but I find that the overworked achiever, they just know, they have this thought that this can't be it. I haven't come this far only to go this far. You know, but the problem is this: you've lost that vision for your business and your life. You had this vision, but you've already achieved all your goals. And that's why you've lost your passion, because you're suffering from a lack of vision. And I'm telling you, we teach overworked achievers how to find that time freedom, how to tap into that greater sense of purpose, and how to become inspired again about what they do. We help you get clear, no pun intended, on what the next level looks like for you in your business. Here's the way that we do that. We do it through the Love, Serve, Grow framework. This is the foundation of everything we teach, but here's the thing, we go to the next level. So we address mindset issues that most people just starting out won't understand, right? That there are issues, there is a level of imposter syndrome that sets in for very successful people that, quite frankly, somebody just starting out would never get. So we help you process and dig through that. We give you coaching. I coach you every single week live in small group formats on high-level mindset issues. But then we also dig into systems. So in our first program, the Legacy Leadership Academy, we teach you how to create systems. And we also, for those of you, because we have some people that come to us right to next level, they don't go to LLA because they're already so far advanced. We teach you how to create the systems in next level as well. So you get access to all that same training. But here's what we focus on. There's actually 3 phases to systems. Creating it is only the first phase. Implementing it and actually getting people to use it is all the real work. So we take the systems that you create, and in next level, I actually review them for you, give you feedback, and I help you implement them, and we teach you how to get people to use them. We do like hardcore systems coaching every single month. And then when it comes to leadership, we teach you those next level leadership strategies, right? How to be a better coach, how to create team culture, the importance of vision in leadership, right? Every level of your business requires a new level of you. And if you've got a big team, if you're an overworked achiever, you've got leadership struggles that most people won't understand. I'm telling you, this community gets it, because the beauty of this community is everyone is all at or around the same level. So we do it through focusing on the framework. Here's another one of our students sharing with you a little bit about what the program has done for them. Jill and Mike, get this. They started Next Level. Their business was doing about $25,000 per month. 6 months later, they were doing $250,000 per month. Now, I'll tell you, that was because Mike and Jill got their mindset where they needed to be as leaders, put the systems in place, and I coached them through the implementation and the issues that come up along the way. This right here is just an example of what the program can do for you. So here are the missions. So the Love, Serve, Grow framework, it's made up of 12 different missions. Now, you might be a Legacy Leadership Academy student. The format of Next Level is very similar to LLA. There's 12 missions. You get them in order, in a specific order. And at the very end of the framework, you have all the training. But here are some examples of some of the topics that we teach. We go through our mindset and our Love, Serve, Grow challenge. So this is where we lay the foundation for the program. We teach you how Love, Serve, Grow will lead you to thinking differently in your business. And for those of you that are new to our teaching, we've created an instruction manual on how you build belief. It's called the Formula for Transformation. So we teach this to you through a leadership lens. So it not only can be for you, but how you can take these concepts and teach it to your team. Weekly accountability meetings is the second mission. A lot of what I'm teaching you tonight is in that training. We do go even a little bit deeper though in the actual the mission in the program. 3 phases of systems. We focus on implementation and getting people to use systems, goal achievement, how to have difficult conversations. This is a big one for upcoming leaders. We dig deep into money mindset. See, listen, as you start making more money, all these different limiting beliefs pop up. So like this is one when I was just starting out in my business, I never could have taken that training and got what I needed out of it. But if you're already financially successful, you got so many things going on in your head. But a lot of people are afraid to talk about it because they feel like they shouldn't have those things going on. They should just feel happy that they have what they have. But I'm telling you, we all struggle with it. And I help you dig deep into getting a money mindset that you need in order to be able to go out and continue to see progress and serve. We then move on to team building, advanced duplication strategies. We talk about perfectionism and procrastination because I know those are 2 big leadership issues. We teach you how to be a better coach. Coaching is different than training. Coaching is a skill set that most people don't have. We help you be better. We talk about leadership development in a more advanced format, managing your time as a leader, and then how do you deal with relationships? Like when you become really successful, people change the way that they treat you. Sometimes it's our spouse, sometimes it's our family. How do we manage relationships as a successful person in our business? But all of these things address the 3 parts of the Love, Serve, Grow framework, and we give them to you as missions. Here's just a couple of examples of students. Christina said, I had my best month ever. She joined, she was doing $30,000 a month in volume. 1 month later, she doubled her volume. Xenia, who's one of my favorite students, get this, when she joined Next Level in August, she was doing $16,000 a month. A year later, over $100,000 a month. She's just like breaking records, growing. It's so exciting to see. And one of the biggest ways we do this is coaching. Like I said to you, this is my group coaching program. Every single week, you get like literally as much access to me as you ever could possibly want in small group formats in the areas of business strategy and mindset as well. Now there's 2 options. Is Next Level right for me? So let me go through this list here. Here's the criteria I normally give. If you're already earning consistently over $5,000 a month, you're a good candidate for next level. Now, this is not a black and white number. Some of you might be, Bob, I'm getting close to that, okay, but I just want to go faster. Then next level still could be an option for you. But if you're nowhere near that, I'm going to just tell you right now, LLA is the right place for you. That's our core leadership program. But if you're somebody that's already over this number, I'm telling you, you're missing what we can offer you as in terms of coaching and community. Are you looking for a clear step-by-step plan of action to grow your team, right? In a way that gives you more time freedom. Would you like more time freedom? Do you have financial success, but you don't have enough time to enjoy it? If that's the case, next level is great for you. Are you lacking that passion and vision that we talked about? Do you want a community of like-minded leaders like you to support and inspire you, people that understand your unique problems and challenges? Would you like to get coaching from me directly every week? Because there's no shortage of that inside of the program. And does that concept of making a shift from profit to purpose resonate with you? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, I'm telling you, next level, literally we've created for you. Now there's two options to enroll. So option number one is a monthly payment. So next level leadership is $397 per month. It is on the monthly plan. It is month to month. You can cancel at any time. Now, here's what you get for that. You get access to our 12 training missions. So all 12 of those missions that I shared with you, if you're paying monthly, you get access to a new training mission every single month. So every 30 days, new mission. Now, all of the training is self-study. So you go through it at your own pace on your own time. So it's self-study training, but we do the active live coaching. And that's the biggest thing that makes Next Level different. You get live coaching from me every single week. Business, mindset, you need me for something, you get access to me. We do systems case studies and tons of systems coaching. So system specific coaching is something our students find very helpful. We have a private Facebook group with all of our Next Level members. So they're all people just like you that you can network with, be connected to. And then the way that it works with the monthly plan is this. This, by the way, is a recent change. So after 12 payments, you'll have access to all 12 of the trainings that make up the Love, Serve, Grow framework. After your 12th payment, we give you lifetime access to the training. Now you have to stick around 12 months. You got to make 12 payments to get to that point, right? Now you can cancel at any time, but if you cancel before 12 months, you lose access to the content and the coaching. But if you stick around for 12 months, you get lifetime access to the training. Now, you've got to continue to pay to get access to the coaching. Now, let me just put this in perspective for you for a second. I used to do private coaching, okay? I haven't done private coaching for years. I used to charge $3,000 a month to private coaching clients. And here's what they got. There was no training course content. They got 2 30-minute calls with me a month. And I had people literally, like I would turn away clients every single month because I just didn't have the time to do it. You're getting 10 times more value and access to me for like almost 1/10 of the price what I used to charge. Like this, I'm telling you right now, this program is the best value that we offer. What you get for this investment, it's truly extraordinary. So that's the monthly cost, $397 per month. Now, all of this information will be on the Next Level Leadership sales page. And just so all of you know, you'll all be getting an email from me tomorrow morning with all of these details. But we do have another option because and by the way, I'm excited. This is the first time that we've ever made this option available to our students. We haven't even had this as a possibility, but here's what we have happen. Because I know a lot of you are high performers and you're probably thinking this already. Oh, shoot, 12 months? I don't want to wait 12 months to get all the content because I see some things on there that I need, right? Like you just want to do it faster. We've never had the ability to do that before until tonight. So we now have a second option for you to enroll, and here's how it works. You can basically pre-purchase 12 months access to this program for $34.97. Now, that is 30% less than you would pay if you paid $397 for the year. So that's a significant savings, okay? So that alone would be a benefit, but here's the other huge benefit. You get everything you would get with the monthly plan, but you get all 12 trainings up front. So that means literally you sign up tonight, you take the one pay option. In your membership area, all 12 trainings are waiting for you right there. You can go through it as fast as you want, whatever pace you want, in whatever order you want, you get all the trainings up front. Now, how this offer works is you get 12 months access to all the live coaching and support. So this is a one-time payment. You just pay us one time and that's it. You get lifetime access to the training for that one-time payment, but a year's access to the coaching. And then you have a decision at the end of the year. If you want to continue with us, you can start paying monthly to get access to the coaching. But we also created this offer for this reason, not only because we want to be able to give you some cost savings if you know you want to invest in yourself, not only because we want to give you all the content, but I also just understand as somebody that's done this long enough, we have a life cycle with some of our students. Some of our students come to us, they get what they need, and then they move on to someone else. And I'm totally cool with that. So I just want to be able to deliver as much value as possible to you in the time that you're here. So to really serve our students, we created this offer to be able to better accommodate you depending on your needs. So both of these options will be on that sales page that I gave you. And then I want to just close out here with something that Jen said. I said, what's your advice for somebody that's considering joining Next Level? And she said, make a decision that you're going to go full out. But that doesn't mean working 10 hours a day. It means focusing, getting into your systems, working through your mindset, and getting your ducks in a row. And I love this because that's Love, Serve, Grow right there. And that's the power of the program. So I do have a special offer, okay? Because I know some of you that are here tonight are coming to us through the Legacy Leadership Academy, LLA, and you may fit those criteria. You may be saying, well, Bob, I think I might be better off in Next Level. So as a special thank you to you, I'd like to extend a special offer to our current LLA members. Now, I just want to be clear, this is not available to anybody that's not a member of the Legacy Leadership Academy. But if you're considering joining the program, here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to offer you a $100 discount on your monthly plan. You'll only pay $297 a month if you decide you want to upgrade. And to upgrade, here's all you have to do. Email us at support@bobheilig.com. Let us know that you want to upgrade to Next Level, and Whitney, our incredible customer service manager, will help you do that. So here's all you have to do to go get the details. Go to nextlevelleadership.com. That's where all the information is, but I do want to let you know this. Enrollment closes soon. So enrollment is only open until midnight Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. So if you're going to do it, act fast. If you're an LLA member, you want that discount, act fast. You've got till Sunday to do so. And there's the sales page again, nextlevelleadership.com. Okay, so let me go ahead and let me unshare and let me start digging into some of these questions here. I appreciate all your patience. If Next Level wasn't for you, thank you for just giving me the opportunity to share that for those that are interested. And like I said, all of you are going to get an email tomorrow from me with all the details. If you're an LLA member, Magda, the email is support at bobheilig.com. I'll put that in the chat. Okay, there it is there. All right, so let me get a drink of water here. And let me go ahead and dig into the questions here. Danielle, there is no discount on the monthly, on the one pay option, because that already is a significant discount. So, okay. So let's see here. Questions. We got lots of questions here. So let me start digging into them. So I'm guessing I've probably answered a lot of these in the presentation. I answered Erica's question. I answered Laurie's question. You do share your personal numbers. Jenny wants to know, what's the best way to introduce this to my upline? So Jenny, what I would do if I were you, if you want to share the implementation guide with your upline, I'm fine if you do that as a way to maybe get them to run a WAM, because that might be a great step for you. If you don't have a team to do it, maybe you can bring it to your upline and maybe you can be a part of a WAM. So, okay, so Dana and Max want to know, is it advisable to have several people from the same line in the same WAM, even if one of them is in a mentorship position to others, yet they're still in a similar rank? And the answer is absolutely yes, because that will give them, number one, an opportunity to demonstrate leadership by example, which will increase their influence with people. But Dana and Max, here's the other thing. If you're worried about this because they're not doing enough, then it's your way to get them to do more. So absolutely, that would be a really, really great thing to do. Let's see here. Jessica wants to know, should I wait to do a WAM if I only have 2 leaders under me? Well, Jessica, you could do kind of like a scaled down version of a WAM just with those 2 people. Maybe you do it in like a 30-day beta test to make sure that they're going to be willing to do the work, but you could still implement principles of a WAM even if you only have a couple of people. Mina wants to know, would I have my upline join in a WAM? You could do that if you want, Mina. You know, if you think it would be helpful to the WAM. Sometimes having a high producing leader in a WAM is good for the culture of the WAM because it keeps it exciting and engaging for people. So that might be something you do. Shanna wants to know, during your WAM, if one meeting falls on the close of business, can you move it? Absolutely, Shanna. You know, you can, in a specific week, you can adjust it if necessary. That's, you know, you can be flexible with that. And Anna Maria wants to know, this is in addition to a regular weekly meeting. Yes, Anna Maria, this is totally different than a regular weekly meeting. I already answered the time frame question. Somebody wants to know, is it good or bad to have a WAM group chat thread? So I would say I kind of view that similar to the Voxer chat. So you could do that. I like Voxer though, because it's easier for people to communicate through voice, but a group chat could also be helpful as well, for sure. Megan wants to know, what do you do for those that aren't showing the potential for these meetings? So Megan, if you have somebody on there, so I don't know if you're asking this, like if you're realizing that once they're on there, if they're not like following through with what they said they would do, then that's an opportunity for you to use the carefrontational approach. If you don't have anyone on your team that you think is committed enough to invite, then it's just not something you do right now, and you go out and you find those people. You can, Megan, you can add people. So I'll give you an example of something that I did. So I had a WAM group that was really dead. There weren't a lot of people that were doing much. And I actually strategically invited someone else on my team that I knew was seeing results to be a part of the WAM, to inject a little bit of excitement and enthusiasm into the WAM. So you can definitely do that. Somebody says, is it advisable to do WHAMs, including people under leaders who aren't yet running WHAMs, or is it better to encourage them? So here's what I would do. I would have the leader and their people, if that's the team you wanted to do it in, have the leader and their people on the WHAM together and have a side conversation with the leader basically saying, listen, if this goes as well as I think, this will be something that you just break off and do with your team, but let's do this together in the beginning. So make them feel like they're a part of the process. So that would be how I approach that. So you might have people, most likely, the people on the WHAM will have similar goals. They might not all be the same, but because they're all around the same rank or size, the goals will all fall into the same category. So that's usually the way that it works. In terms of activity level, that might be different for everyone because your minimum baseline is going to be determined by the circumstances of your life. And you might have circumstances that just give you less time to work your business. So the activity level might be different. So Jessica wants to know, what are the common IPAs? I mean, Jessica, they're the stuff we always talk about, you know, adding new people to your network, new conversations, presentations, follow-ups. You know, it's different for every company. Maybe something that's really important to you is something related to social media content. It can be different for everyone, but just select 3 to 4 of the most important ones, start there. Here's the good news. You can always change them as you go. In your homework, in your implementation guide, I have a homework assignment to help you figure that out. No, Ashley, every person individually commits to their own minimum baseline. So on the first WHAM, one of the homework assignments you give them is for them to come up with their 90-day goal and minimum baseline, and then you review that with each person to make sure that they're where they need to be. Susan, I'm so glad you asked this question. She wanted to know, should you set up a Facebook group? Absolutely no, 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 no. No Facebook group. Look, people they need another Facebook group like they need another hole in their head. No Facebook group, okay? It's a Zoom and a supporting communication tool if you want. So thank you for asking that question, by the way. Answer that question. Yeah, so Sarah wants to know, can we use this carefrontation approach on team members who aren't even in the WHAMs? Sarah, absolutely. One of the things that we focus on in Next Level is how to have difficult conversations, and that applies to lots of different scenarios. So we're going to be, just so all of you know, we're going to be uploading this recording to the product that you got access to when you bought the program. So that recording will be in that product sometime tomorrow. All right, let's see here. Okay, Lisa has a question. Would you say that this might be a good tool to help to set your team on fire? The answer is yes, Lisa, for sure. This is absolutely a huge tool to help you create more momentum because it teaches people how to take ownership of their own business. Okay, somebody says, I'm earning over 30K a month, but I feel I could learn a lot on systems, but I don't need the inspiration help. I have that, but I am struggling with burnout. Okay, this is a good point. This is a good question. So here's what I want you to realize. If you're struggling with burnout, that's a mindset issue. Burnout and overwhelm do not come from the amount of work that you do. It comes from the emotions and the feelings fueling the work. If you're creating success from scarcity and fear, or what we call a red light core story, that's why you feel burned out. See, this is a huge blind spot for so many leaders. They think burnout is a result of working hard. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with working hard. It has to do with what's driving you to work hard. So this is the reason why this Love, Serve, Grow framework is so important, because if you're missing even one piece of it, you're never going to truly get that total freedom that we talk about. So will we help you with systems to help you create more leaders and more time freedom? Absolutely. But here's what you'll find. There's so many leaders to us that come to us in Next Level, really successful people. And here's what they say: Bob, I'm good with the mindset. I've done all the mindset work, Bob. I've done the mindset work. And then they get in here and they're like, holy crap, I had no idea. Like, I just didn't know. I didn't realize that I still had these things that I just didn't see. So I'm telling you, no matter how good you are, how good you think you are with the mindset, there's a lot of learning and there's a lot of growth that will still help you with inside of the program. So. All right. Lori, you can join for whatever reason you want. If it's just coaching on WAMs, then yeah, absolutely. So Lori, if you were a member, just so you know, we have created 3 completely brand new trainings that are in the framework now, which that alone I think would probably be valuable. And past payments do not count towards lifetime access, unfortunately. If you're an active member today currently and you've made 12 payments, we will credit that towards the offer, but no, if you're no longer a member, they won't count. So Michael, yes, there is an option. Michael, you can do the one-time payment for the $34.97. We don't discount that though, because it's already so discounted. Christy wants to know how often we open enrollment. Typically we do, we do it, probably planning on doing it 2 to 3 times per year. Christy, will be the thing that we're planning on doing, but we haven't scheduled another open enrollment. So Mia wants to know, I'm in LLA. I haven't worked my through all the modules yet, but would you recommend doing Next Level? So Mia, if you think you're a better fit for Next Level, I would recommend doing Next Level, because here's the reason why. Most of the core training you get in LLA when it comes to systems and leadership is you get as a bonus. So like when you join Next Level, one of the bonuses you get is all of our systems training. So you learn how to create systems just like you would in LLA, but we go so much deeper on the coaching and implementation side. So if you fit all that criteria, don't be worried about losing stuff, because most of what you need in LLA, you're going to get anyway in Next Level. You just get all the additional stuff as well. So Michael, the email is support@bobheilig.com. I answered the discount question on the in advance payment. So somebody asked about LLA. LLA enrollment is not open right now. We'll let you know when it is. Yeah, so Chelsea, if you make your 12 payments in LLA and you already have lifetime access to the content, that doesn't go away for you. So you'll continue to retain your LLA content. You'll just get Next Level as well. So Lori asks an interesting question. She wants to know, will you be creating a WAM inside of Next Level? So Lori, what I'm sharing with you tonight, this is all brand new. We've never had a set framework and order of missions. We've never had the ability to pre-purchase the framework in advance. So we've made some pretty big enhancements to the program. And Megan and I, our director of coaching, are planning on rolling out some other really big coaching enhancements. And one of the things that we are working on is creating opportunities for our members to be connected to one another in WAM-like settings. So I'll just leave it at that. We're literally in the, like, we have our eyes squarely set on next level. We've got LLA dialed in. I mean, it is like where it needs to be. And now we're really heavily focusing on how we can make next level even better for our students. So it is something that we're actually talking about. So Whitney, I'd probably say that sticking with LLA would probably be the right place for you right now. So that would be my recommendation. It is US dollars. I see a couple people asking. Amy says on the first WAM, if you give the assignment to come up with the personal minimum baseline, what do you do during the meeting? Just train on that. So Amy, great question. So the first meeting, and in your implementation guide, I literally have the bullet points of here's what you go over in your first meeting. You go over the flow of the WAM and what to expect. You reinforce the guidelines and expectations. You talk about setting a 90-day goal. You might give them examples because you know where they are. So you give them examples. Here are some examples of what your 90-day goal might be. Or maybe everybody's at the same spot and you're just like, look, here's the 90-day goal. You talk about a minimum baseline and then you give them those assignments and they have to come up with them over the next couple of days and send them to you before the next WAM. So Melanie wants to know, when does it start? So Melanie, the program is always running. So because the training is self-study, so when you join, you start with mission 1, no matter if you join today or 6 months from now, you start mission 1. And then every 30 days, you get a new mission, or if you do the one pay, you get all 12 missions up front. But training is self-study. So you go through it on your own time at your own pace. The live coaching is happening as we speak all the time. So in the beginning of every month, you'll get a schedule. Here's when the live coaching is happening. Look, we do them all the time. Mornings, afternoons, nights, different days to accommodate people with different schedules. Trust me, I'll tell you, there's always a coaching call that you can hop on if you need some support. So that's the way that it runs. If you have a question about your LLA membership, yes, support would be the best place to ask that question. So Erica, they have until the next week's WAM, so they have 7 days to be able to finish those assignments. All right, so let me dig into the comments and see if I missed any questions here. And hey, by the way, guys, Next Level Leadership, I'll put the link in here, is the place that you go. So really excited to hopefully see some of you and work with some of you in that program. So Anita, we unfortunately don't have all the PDFs in one handout. You have to print them up in each of the missions. So, okay, so Kelly wants to know, how is that 5 to 7 minute portion of when you talk about a challenge different from the hot seat? Well, Kelly, it's not all that different. So essentially it is a mini kind of hot seat, or it might just be a specific challenge that somebody gives you that you give them some training. So it's essentially kind of the same thing. But what I typically do is this. Is the hot seat sometimes can be connected to the issue. So I'll give you an example. maybe the maybe the challenge was nobody's responding to my social media messages. And so you talk a little bit about why that might happen, and you reinforce what the best practice would be. But then you actually have someone on a hot seat that's having that problem that you're giving some real life coaching. So they may connect to one another. They could be totally separate. The 5 to 7 minute little thing could be a mini hot seat, and then you could have a training topic plan. So there's so many different ways you can do it. I wouldn't stress out too much about that part, because like I said, if all you did was just create the structure for these people to be relationally connected and give them that public accountability, that in and of itself would be worth it for people to be a part of that. So, all right, so I'll take a couple of other questions here. Yeah, Kelly, you can use the WAMs in whatever way best fits you in your business. Let's see here. Where do we find additional tools again? We don't have a date yet on when LLA will be reopening. It's looking probably like late September, early October, just so that you know. Yeah, so Bronwyn has a great question. She wants to know, do you continue to have a WAM for the more successful leaders once they break off and do their own? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because Bronwyn, one of the things you do on your WAM with them is talk about their WAMs. So you want to get real meta. You're coaching people in a WAM how to effectively run a WAM and helping them guide through the issues. So you always got to have a WAM with your best people, because those are the people that are going to so easily get off track. All right, so Susan says, I'm in a party plan business. Would this work for me? And Susan, the answer is absolutely yes. Look, whatever you talk about on the WAM is up to you. Whatever you're tracking on the WAM is up to you, but those people still need structure, and they still need leadership, and they still need accountability. So you can make it work for whatever product or whatever type of business model that you have. So Danielle, if you have a question about switching from LLA to Next Level, just make sure you send that email to support, and Whitney can help you. If you losing content will depend on where you are in the process of LLA, so she'll be able to ask that for you. Bronwyn also asked, when people share their numbers in a WAM, how is that done by week? Since the total commission period is monthly, do they share both the scheduled volume and the new volume? So, okay, Bronwyn, so here's what they're doing. Imagine this. They're just taking a snapshot of where their business is at that moment. Now, there's going to be nuances that might be different for every company based on pay plan and commission structure. You've got to figure that out, whatever works best for you. This is an example of one of the areas that we provide coaching to leaders in Next Level, is I help you sort through the specifics of your company and comp plan to create tools and forms that make the most sense for you. Okay. All right, so I think I've got through, Bronwyn wants to know, how much is it per month ongoing after the first 12 months? So Bronwyn, it's $397. So it's $397 a month for the coaching component, and that's an ongoing fee. You'll pay that as long as you want to be a part of the program and get the coaching and the support in the community. But after 12 months of paying $397, you get lifetime access to the training content. So if you decide you want to leave, you'll retain that, but you continue to pay $397 to get the coaching. The $34.97 offer is you pre-purchasing 12 months of coaching at a discounted rate. You won't be charged again, but you will have an opportunity at the end of 12 months to decide if you want to continue to get the coaching. And if so, you can re-enroll for $397. So, all right, everybody. Well, listen, I want to thank all of you for your time. It's been 2 hours, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. I love talking about and teaching this kind of stuff. So I really, truly hope you got a lot of value out of the training tonight. I hope you'll take this recording and that implementation guide, and you'll be an action taker, and you'll really put this into work in your business. I promise you it'll be one of the best things you've ever done. And for those of you that are watching this, if you're one of those people that does fit the qualifications for next level, I really truly hope with all my heart that you decide to invest in yourself and your business and join us in that program. I promise you it'll be the best decision you've ever made. And, you ask any one of our students what that program has done for their business. It's absolutely changed their life. So I hope to see some of you in there. If you are going to join, make sure you act fast, because enrollment does close midnight on Sunday. So with that being said, thanks for your time, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And, I hope you enjoyed the training. Take care.